Meet Moses, a man chosen by God. God's plan began when an Egyptian princess found Moses floating in a basket by the river. She fell in love at first sight. She decided to take him home and raise him in the palace as her own. But when Moses became a man, he left the palace and became a shepherd in the wilderness. One day, Moses saw a bush on fire, but it wasn't burning up. He heard God's voice say, "Take off your sandals. You are on holy ground." Moses listened, and God told him to go to Egypt and ask the Pharaoh to let God's people go. Moses was afraid to go, but God promised to be with him as he traveled across the desert to meet with the king. Moses said, "Let my people go." The Pharaoh said no. God sent frogs jumping all over Egypt. Moses asked again, "Let my people go." "No," said the Pharaoh. This time, God sent little black flying bugs buzzing, buzzing, buzzing all around the Egyptians' ears, driving them crazy. Moses said, "Let my people go." "No," said the Pharaoh. This time, God sent pounding hail down on the people of Egypt. He sent an illness to make all the animals sick. He sent more bugs. This time, jumping bugs, flying all over Egypt. He made the people of Egypt break out in sores. "Let my people go," said Moses. "No," said the Pharaoh. Finally, all the firstborn sons in Egypt died. The Pharaoh was so sad when his son died. When Moses asked to let the people go, the Pharaoh said, "Yes, go." The people were so glad to be free from the mean king after they had been slaves for so long. They followed Moses towards their new land. They kept traveling and traveling until they reached the shores of the Red Sea. Back in Egypt, the Pharaoh changed his mind. He sent soldiers to catch God's people and bring them back to Egypt. "Don't be afraid." Moses raised his staff. A mighty wind blew. A dry path right down the middle of the sea, with big walls on both sides, opened up. Moses and all God's people crossed the sea on a dry path. When soldiers tried to cross the sea, the walls of the water came crashing down and washed them away. God's people were safe on the other side. They sang songs. They danced. They thanked God for taking care of them and keeping them safe from the mean king. They were joyful. After God's people escaped from Egypt, they camped in the desert. Everywhere they went, God made sure they had food to eat and water to drink, to keep them strong and healthy, for they had a long journey ahead. They didn't yet know they would be walking for 40 years before they came to the Promised Land. Moses brought the people to the base of a mountain called Mount Sinai, where they would rest and camp. The top of the mountain was wrapped in smoke and thunder, and God called down to Moses to come up the mountain and meet him. While Moses was on the mountain, God gave him a stone on which he had written 10 rules to live by. Moses brought these 10 commandments back down the mountain to the people. Moses told the people that God had given these rules because he loved them and wanted them to know how to live a life that pleased him. Yes, even today, the 10 commandments remind us if we put God first, how joyful our lives can be.